February is Be Good to Your Heart Month, and when it comes to vital organs, the heart is one that you want to make sure is very happy. Dr. Milady Murphy is here from Shelton's Health and Wellness Center to share some tips on improving your heart health, and it's also a good idea to make sure that Dr. Murphy is very happy. Are you happy to be here, Dr. Murphy?
I'm very happy to be with you, Danny, as always.
Super.
And you know, February, you're right, is Be Good to Your Heart Month, and it provides that awareness. Mm-hmm. You know, the #1 killer in the United States and in Alabama is still heart disease. Mm. And so some of the things that we can do in informing our viewers out there is to make little changes that will make a big impact on our heart health. Some of the things that we need to do, many times we talk about this, but maybe we don't emphasize it enough. Sitting now is called the new smoking as it relates to heart disease.
Wait, what is?
Sitting.
Sitting.
Sitting at your desk, being on the computer. Mm-hmm. We spend too much time just sitting. Studies are now showing that every hour, if you can get up and do a little physical activity, walking to and from, instead of delivering electronic emails, walk to your friend and get the, you know, little things that we can do, physical activity. Because we're now finding out that being very sedentary affects our heart health, it affects our blood pressure, it affects just the heart composition, the biochemistry of the body. So it's recommended that we start being more active as we age. Another thing that we can do in being heart healthy during this time of the year is start to read labels and to look for milligrams of salt. Just recently, another thing came out in research that says, you know, we have been understated in emphasizing reading about the salt. That we need to keep our sodium milligrams at 1,500 milligrams a day. The average person is getting over 3,500 milligrams, and it affects your heart health. It affects the biochemistry of the heart. It taxes the heart and thereby elevates blood pressure. And so, you know, little things like that, reading labels, counting milligrams of salt is very powerful. Another thing that we emphasize many times on your show is substitute fried food for baked, broil, or grill. Learning to cut back those saturated fats because it has a negative effect on the biochemistry of the heart. It elevates that bad cholesterol, the LDL, that sludge that clogs our arteries, that elevates blood pressure. So educating the public to make little food changes, not so much emphasizing dieting, but eating to be healthy. So switching out the fried food for foods that are baked, broiled, or grilled.
So at some point today or sometime this week, if I find myself sitting, smoking a cigarette after eating some fried chicken wings, I'm doomed. It's over. Right?
No, it's not, Danny. The good news is, no, and you know, sometimes people think like that. Why make these changes?
Right.
But the good news is now with biochemistry of the body, you can lower your blood pressure. The process starts within 72 hours when you make healthy changes.
Really?
It takes 3 weeks to see the significant changes, but when you start to make these little changes that we mentioned, 72 hours, the body's biochemistry kicks in to make these changes. You can start to change the negative cholesterol in the body within 3 months. And so little things that you can do, Danny, now can make a big difference in your heart health in a short period of time. I think that's the point we need to emphasize with folks. They may think, well, it's not going to be effective. But we're now finding out, studies are showing that these little changes can be significant in a shorter period of time than once thought.
72 hours, 3 days. There you go. All right, Dr. Murphy, thanks so much for being with us today.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. The Health and Wellness Center is located at Shelton State Community College. You can find out more about them online at sheltonstate.edu. Dr. Murphy is coming up later at 5 o'clock, too. She'll be talking about some new major findings on salt.